Part 1, Crossing Worlds. Maya had always been quiet. Even as a child she wore her silence like armor, in part to shelter herself, in part to shield those she loved. When her father, Daniel Reyes, lost his wife to illness, Maya was 6 and the world suddenly felt fragile, sharp around the edges. Daniel, a factory worker with calloused hands and a constant ache in his chest, tried to be everything for her: parent, provider, protector, but grief has a way of hollowing you out from the inside, even if you keep going. They lived in a small apartment above a laundromat on the outskirts of the city. Every morning Daniel would wake before dawn, shuffle into worn boots, cook what breakfast he could, usually oatmeal and stale bread, and set off to the factory. Maya would walk him to the door, rugged backpack on her slim shoulders, eyes heavy with invisible weight. She was 13 now, anxious in ways that she couldn't name yet. The pressure to be perfect at school, to never upset her father, to ignore the void in her heart that still whispered for the mother she never really remembered. At school, Maya floated between worlds, excelling in classes, but distant from friends. She'd laugh, but feel lonely. She confided in no one. At home she tried to piece together Daniel's broken smiles, to fill quiet moments with her mother's absent laughter. But the harder she tried, the more hollow everything seemed. Part 2, Night's Deep Embrace. When the bills piled up: rent, hospital debts, car repairs, it seemed like the light at the end of their tunnel was flickering out. Daniel worked overtime. He skipped meals. He came home at odd hours, but the pay never stretched far enough. Maya watched him collapse into bed, tiredness hollowing the lines around his eyes. She stopped asking for things. She stopped inviting friends home. She studied harder. She hoped. One night, after a particularly brutal shift, Daniel came home to empty dinner pots and a note from Maya: "I'm sorry for everything, Dad. I'll figure it out." No hug. No explanation. She was gone. He discovered a note on the kitchen table, stained with tears: "I can't do it anymore." She left without telling him where. Daniel panicked. He called her phone until it died. He asked neighbors. He drove through the night, retraced every path they'd walked together. And then, in the new dawn, he found her on the city's old bridge, rain pelting her face, her silhouette balanced at the ledge. Part 3, The Pull. "Don't jump." He never heard himself say it. It came from somewhere older than fear, something primal. He grabbed her just as her fingers slipped off the railing, yanked her back into his arms. She trembled. He held her until her body stilled, that she was safe. But saving her in that moment didn't mean the damage was gone. In the weeks that followed, they tended to wounds both visible and unseen. Maya's tears finally came, her confessions too: the bullying, the shame, the sheer exhaustion of pretending.